And the technology is very interesting today. All right, looks like we're finally there. Peace, love, namaste, everybody. Hi, Brittany Eek. Excitement, possibilities, new world magic is within me. Hi, Sylvia. Thanks, everybody. So we're in the flow, woo! But we've made it all the way to the peak, and we've just made it to the other side. And my fabulous honey bunny is here with something for me to drink. And we have an incredible opportunity. What? I am. Just come closer. Thank you. Wow, that looks like I won't be able to drink it for 10 years. Thank you. I'm going to give you this. All right, everybody, it's a sweet life. Yay. Thank you, sweetie. Wow, it's hot. So I'm not even going to go into what's happened already this morning, but we did have the peak of the eclipse at 10:17 p.m. Mountain Time, I believe, last night. If you were in the Philippines or Asia or any place over there, you could see it. So I can't wait for the effects. So now what we get to do is say, what happened? So lots of my students, lots of my clients have been percolating, have been experiencing stuff already. I was reviewing some things about the eclipse last night, and I was thinking, yeah, okay, I think that's been happening. Oh, that's already happened. Oh, that's already happened. Oh, that's already happened. So that has been what's been going on for me is when I reviewed what are the energies of this eclipse, and especially for me, then in my chart, and then for all of us, of course. And then I was looking, I was thinking about what's been happening for me, what's been happening for my students, what's been happening in my life, my business, what's been happening in things that are relevant to me. I don't watch the news. And then I started to say so much has already happened. Then my doubt voice came in, and everybody has one. You have a little doubt girl, you have a little poor girl in there, and you turn the volume down on her and you give her other jobs. And over time, she either has a different thing to say, maybe the empowering side of it, right? But I look for her. I look for her because I know that if she's there, like I don't know, where is she? But I'll be like, could that really be it? Could it really be true? Is this really going to happen? Is this going to stick? Is this going to stay? I actually had something happen to me a couple days ago. Now, yes, 2 days ago, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. So in the mornings, I drink hot lemon water, and my beloved brought it to me hot. And so, hello, Anitag, beautiful souls. Hi, Destine. Yes. Hi, Kim and Jillian. Yes. So, it was, how do you put it? It wasn't easy, but it's a problem. It's a thing. It's an issue that's been in my life for 4 years, technically 5, and then technically before that, but I didn't know about it. Okay. And so I'm getting now to realize that I have a part of me still, after all the work I've done. That's why there's never a goal, there's never a finish line. It's always like, ooh, that was interesting, what's next? Ooh, that was interesting, what's next? Because we're a spiraling, evolving, conscious being, part of everything. So what happens to everything happens to us, and what happens to us is offered back to everything. So we're here, we're supposed to experience this. So I was walking around last night going, could this be true? What would it be like if this was real? What would it be like if I believed this was true? And it's not a debilitating doubt. And I've been through all the phases of it. So if you have one that just is so insistently in your mind that you can't even think something that's not doubtful, to where they show up right away. Oh, it's not true. It won't happen for you. You can't have what you want, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm talking about the beliefs, the thoughts, the patterns, the self-sabotage. These live in the mind, they live in the emotion field, they live in all the different parts of our life body. So the cool thing is that I literally woke up the next day and thought, oh, that must have been a dream. It was vivid, but that must have been a dream. And it wasn't. And all day long, Chris kept saying, way to go. This is great. I don't want to get in the details of it, but it's something that's annoying. And it has energies of being unfair, frustrating, nobody hearing you, nobody seeing you, doing everything you can to resolve something and nothing can be resolved. It has to do with an authoritative entity, um, and all the different things over many years of thinking you've solved it or resolving it or sending 95 pages of paperwork. And then I just go on with life and it sits there, right? And then it circles back into my life. And then I think I take care of it and then it comes back. So anything like that in my life, so you can look at the patterns that are coming up for you for the equinox, is we're going through a change in direction. There's no option for that not to happen. How it happens is different for everybody. There's going to be a collective experience with all the different groups of people having their opinion be changed or stretched. It doesn't mean everybody's going to be going together towards peace and love. We're in the time of polarity. And that's why when we notice the polarity within ourselves, I had a doubt girl living in my head all the time. She had a full-time job in the past. She had a very, very, very full-time job. She had to keep me down. She had to keep me working hard. She had to keep me thinking I was never good enough. She had to keep me pleasing everybody, worrying about everybody, wondering what, how to make everybody like me and how to be this and that and on and on and on. All right. And so over the years, light body work, self-discovery, mystery work, it's really discovering who you are, where you come from, how the universe works, how energy works, how everything is talking to you. So it's been a very interesting and kind of soft eclipse for me. My partner has a 29 Taurus and is a Taurus, and this is Taurus. And so there's all these things that are supposed to be hitting him really, really hard. And when we think that, then we go into, oh, something terrible will happen. But all energy has two sides of the coin. So it's both something changing. Now, it might be like, oh, there's, no longer iguanas eating the my bougainvillea. Not hardly a world crisis, but I'm having to think about what to do with my big bougainvillea that I want to grow up over the wall, and it gets up to the top of the wall, and then the iguana walks down the wall and eats all the leaves. So that's an example, a silly one, of something that I'd be happy if it left my life. If we took a direction into no iguanas ever ate the leaves on my plants again. Now, then there's the things that are like, oh, you wake up and your job is gone, or somebody moves, or your relationship ends, or you realize you can no longer be the person you are. And there's a lot of other things in between how things will manifest. So stay in it, stay aware of it, watch yourself. As you become a witness, as you develop your intuition, you're much more interested in what you are doing, what your body is saying, what your pain in your hip is telling you, what the eclipse is telling you, what is the result or the manifestation in your own reality. What's it like when you unplug from authority? So authority is a big theme because we are moving into that Aquarian energy. So it is static mind. It's mind that is more like communication, okay, currents of communication and air, or waves of information. And there's the side that says we are one, that takes to extreme, that says we have to control everybody and tell everyone what to do and pass a lot of laws and become restrictive and controlling, and you're going to see plenty of that. And then there's the other side that's going more and more towards spiritual independence. That means full acceptance of who you are. Stop trying to be what everybody else thinks. Stop trying to live everyone else's life for them. Let the chips fall where they may. Don't be mean. Take your power back. Do it in a way where you stand inside of yourself, being love to you and to everything that has been a part of your reality that can no longer be. All right, so things like this unfold for weeks and months, and we have another eclipse on the 5th, 4th, 5th, 5th May, and so this one is going to be your theme. Now, the interesting thing is the eclipse is a change in direction. So it's an opportunity opening, and it's a something changing that inside of that perceived problem or pain or just change, maybe it doesn't upset you, but it's change, is a solution, a doorway you never saw before. So I was watching the sunset last night. Yay, we're in the magical time of year. We face north, and it's really hard to understand because this isn't the way that most of the planet is oriented. Most coastlines are facing east, the sun comes up, west, the sun goes down. I face north, the sun goes like this. This is my house. I'm facing the ocean, and it never goes in front of me. But if I go to the beach, it sets and rises over the ocean, and it goes out a little ways over the ocean, and then it goes back over the land, and in the winter it's way back over here and I don't see it. So I was out watching it because I never miss a sunset or sunrise. Sometimes I miss the sunrise, but this time of year it's very magical. And I was thinking, this is the last day, the last sunset of a reality. And instead of being emotional, like sad, if you've ever been excited to go on a trip or to move or to go to college or whatever, you've been excited for the change, but at the same time, it brings a big change in your life. And you feel a bit sad, a bit happy, a bit, I don't know, all right? And you feel both, and you're excited and you want to go, and you're processing the experience. So I was doing that at the sunset, and it was very windy. So a lot of people were telling me they had storm energy, thunder beings, lightning beings. We were having stormy like wind. It was coming off the ocean. We didn't have storm clouds or rain or anything. But it was, and crashing waves, which is weird because it's very shallow for a long way. So we don't really tend to get very big waves. And so all those energies, all those elementals, all of the earth, all of Gaia, everything in and around us is going through this energy too. We're all on a journey, and we're like a little posse, and we're passing through this pass. It's like, okay, we're going to be going through this pass now. So the thing about dark is the new moon, and we are moving into the new moon now. We have Mercury going full retrograde. Both of those, I think, are tomorrow technically, but we're in it. And so the next 3, 4, 5 days is going to be very intense eclipse energy still. Intense means it doesn't have to be upsetting to you. It just could be you sleep really deep or you don't sleep at all. You feel things expanding in your brain and being moved and worked on. In your physical and the physical etheric, you can just feel the energy around you. You can feel your aura. The dolphins have been telling us how important our aura is, and I've been finding that interesting and waiting to see what kind of other message comes through on that, because I don't think in all the different energy medicine and things is, other than, Chinese medicine focuses on elements. Are you hot or are you cold? And flow. And homeopathy focuses on how do you feel, and when does it feel better? When does it feel worse? Is there a time of day? What makes it feel better or worse? Is it better when you're hot? Is it better when you're cold? Is it better when you're laying down? Is it better when you're standing up? Better when you eat? Is it better when you don't eat? What do you crave? Well, I learned so many different modalities and became trained. And then in homeopathy, you want to listen to exactly what the person says. You want to listen to yourself and see the words that you're saying. You want to listen to yourself and feel what's the energy under that. Do I really mean that? Is this word really the word I want to put into the world? And just changing your word or saying affirmations, it helps, but it doesn't do the big work, right? You have to get in there with it and start seeing, seeing it, imagining it, feeling it, becoming. So who are you becoming? Okay, let's do that. We're going to talk for a minute about dark energy. So dark energy is dark. Dark energy isn't evil energy. However, we use those words interchangeably. And, especially in maybe like a movie or a superhero movie or a sci-fi movie or something, we say the dark or the dark lord or the dark side, right? And we can understand one aspect of it because there's plenty of people on the world stage that are acting out their dark side. And what does that mean? It means that they're acting out of low states of consciousness. And when you're at a low state of consciousness, when you're in a soul evolution level of your particular life now is 5 or below on a scale of 10. Excuse me, it's not something that that means anything. It's just a scale of 1 to 10. And it used to be part of what I did in my soul readings. And when people are really into the military, into the government, or into other things that form rules and control, they're usually around 4 or 5 in their soul evolution. They are enjoy and they feel good about their purpose being enforcing rules and helping others to live by them. Now, we know that this can be a very good thing. If you don't drive off the road and smash your car into people and we follow the road's rules, we're all good. So I'm not against all structure and forms of rules. It depends what you do with it. So we always talk about the law of vibration and the law of polarity, and all the universal laws are in every different way telling us everything is one. It's different by degree. 0 degrees or 100 degrees feel very different, but you have every degree in between. And so dark energy is simply the polarity of light energy. When we say, I am the light, there is no darkness within me, the intention, this is from the Emerald Tablets, or from Thoth, maybe it's not in the Emerald Tablets, but I've worked with Thoth so closely, very, very intimately through all kinds of work, light body work, Melchizedek method. He's had me do my own translation of the Emerald Tablets. And he wrote the Hermes, he was Hermes as well. He wrote the Hermetic laws and the universal laws. And so there's an embodiment that happens to the information you receive from your mentors. Hello, beloved. And so dark can hold a particular experience. And right now we're having dark and light experience. We're having an eclipse. When something is eclipsed, it's cut off from something. We're being gifted. We were gifted for a brief time completely to be cut off from the sun. And for all those of us who were in the dark already at night, it didn't impact us in such a profound way as it would if you see it. But we all experienced the energy of the sun not reaching the earth. And at one point, it was a fiery ring. And when you see that, it's like magic, because that's the ring of life. That's the circle of life. You just see the sun around the edge. And inside is the womb, is the darkness, is the moon, is the emotion, is the potential. And it's being, in reality, completely embraced. To me, it's like a hug. It's like when your beloved comes up from behind you and holds you and hugs you. And you're both facing. So I feel the love that is coming from the dark and the light that we're getting to experience at the same time. It's unique and it's powerful. And then it went to full eclipse, completely blocked. And this is when you surrender. And this is when you surrender, receive, and give at the fullest capacity. You don't hold resistance. You separate from all the doubt in the mind, body, in the cells, in the aura, in the chakras, in the emotional field, in every level of your being. And that is when you say, oh, all the phone signals are cut off, and suddenly it's just you, and you're in the dark with yourself. And it's a stillness and a peace and a love and an inner cave moment that can be profound. And a new moon is about planting seeds, is always what we say. And I spent many, many years, 12, 13 years, I think, 13 years in a goddess group. And I was on the ritual planning committee, and I learned all about the elements and the seasons, and helped plan a ritual for all the wonderful different things that happen. It was one of the most peaceful, loving, connected groups and experiences I've ever had, and it's integrated into who I am. So I can't go without acknowledging the moon or the earth, or the cycles of the energy that are allowing us to say it's time to realize that we're giving you the perfect opportunity. In the dark, you don't see yourself and judge yourself. In the dark, you don't look in the mirror and start deciding what has to change. In the dark, you're not thinking about all the things that were, all the things you wish you had. In the dark, you get to let go and you get to be in the surrender. And this is a womb of newness. So a new moon and an eclipse being together amplifies that energy of divine feminine, divine sacred feminine, divine womb of creation, divine loving space of unconditional love. The galactic goddess is a chakra that you have, and it's the 13th chakra, which is a very special number. And it's the embodiment of that divine mother, the embodiment of the divine mother in non-conditional accelerated healing love. So this is one of many, many versions of divine mother that we have in the world. I think she's just delightful. This is Prakriti. She's cosmic mother nature, and this is her universal work of creation. She's working through these beautiful beings into form. And you're one of those beautiful beings. We all are. Here's another one. Thank you. This is really nice. This is another beautiful mothering goddess energy. I used to not relate whatsoever to any form of Christian being, word, icon, or whatever. But Mary and I have become very, very close. She's the embodiment of the divine feminine that has managed to last in the public despite complete obliteration of divine feminine across the board. And she's really a kick-ass strong being. Okay, I feel like we're just doing a little bit honoring of the feminine, so we'll go forward. We've got Lakshmi here. Lakshmi is the goddess of abundance or riches, spiritual. It holds the lotuses, that's your awakening spirit. And into the physical, the coins come. The elephants are everlasting. They're standing always in the lotus, in the water. Lots of abundance. Thank you. We have Kuan Yin over here. I don't know if you can see her. She's going in. Hello. Good morning, Jaguar. Good morning, Bast. Bast is an incredible Egyptian goddess. She's the ultimate healer. Okay, my darling. There's my dragon. She wants to say. Okay. of course, we've got our Jaguar vision going on here. All right, so Perseus is my little baby dolphin, ancient spirit channeling through me these days. He's 5 or 6 months now, I think, in the body. The dark and the light hugging. It's also sad. Can we just be neighbors? I'd like to come over for tea. Yeah, exactly. So this is a moment where you're orbiting, and then there's a moment when you come together and you acknowledge each other and you have this hug and this support and the kiss. I love the hugs from behind. And then you let go and you move on and you've exchanged energy, right? And you move on to be who you are meant to be. Then we're also in a body and we're also on a path. So there's yin yang and black and white and up and down. So when you can see through the dark is what the gift of the Jaguar has, like all cats have. But the Jaguar vision, the Jaguar energy that I've been working with for about 6 years now, and is first and foremost to me how to be a lovingly defined feminine in a body that can be in the world and still not of it, that can carry the constellation in your body on the back of the spots of the jaguar. Even the black jaguar has spots. It's the spots in cats and stuff are not in the fur. Okay, the fur reflects the skin, and the pattern is the skin. And they walk in the earth, on the earth, and they can see in the dark. So your ability to see through the dark means see through your own fears, your own shadows, see who's in your mind, see what's been your role, what's no longer going to be your role, and have that bittersweet but happy ending where you say goodbye and drive off to live your life, to go to college or whatever it is, you know. And the dark is a place to be renewed. It's always the womb. It's the underworld where we always have to walk through. And Pluto is doing a big thing right now. So it's a very, very long time that Pluto doesn't change signs. And so there's death and rebirth, but there's also rejuvenation. And there's this idea of, if you can think back to about 2004 in general, what was happening before that, around that time, and you can then move into being a very, you might see a clue as to the pattern of what's being mirrored right now. The last time we had this particular kind of eclipse. So new moons and eclipses are very important times for protection. So a lot of what I been doing and do every day, but yesterday especially, was I walked around with all my different protection tools, and I used my copal, very, very good deep incense, and I carried a big piece of obsidian with me, even though I wear my obsidian always. This is Jaguar. Then this absorbs energy, sees through the dark, protects from things. Um, Candles, statues, crystals, intentions called on my beings and all. And so Perseus someone has a question, and hi, Cheryl. And so before we move to the meditation, I'm being called to do pull some cards and listen and answer someone's question. Perseus, do you have a question for the dolphins or in general that Perseus would like to answer it? All right, so I'm gonna, oh, thank you. Here's another. I went to get some cards and Isis came up. So there's our beautiful Isis, another mother goddess here. So I'm really grateful for this mother goddess energy. And these are goddesses in the all-seeing eye. Okay, this is Nekbet and this is Wachet. This is you. This is your brain. This is your pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus is the center of your brain. And when these two parts, the spirit, your spirit, the higher realms, speak into you, you translate it and manifest into the world. So that's a really wonderful goddess. So I think that means we need to start with goddess cards. What do you guys think? Sounds about right to me. Here somewhere. Well, that's a good idea too, and that's a good and this is a good idea. Who else wants? What's this all about? Nope. Nope. Nah. Okay. Ooh, all right, we got a whole bunch of fun cards here. Okay, we're going to start with a goddess card. And first I'm going to, because what an interesting time when you're in the dark. So typically the advice in the past, so I've studied a lot of different paths. I've studied a lot of Buddhism and Zen. I've studied the Tao, and I've studied shamanism on many different cultures in ancient times. I've studied sacred geometry, many different mystery schools, homeopathy, hypnosis, energy healing of many different kinds, and working with goddess groups, planning rituals, communicating with animals, communicating with other realms, communicating with gods, goddesses, ascended masters, every type of being that has a form. And all right, I think so. Okay, so so I feel emotionally confused about the dark being exposed because, in a sense, I wanted to ignore darkness as if I was delirious. It was what it was. Yes, it's the thing is not to fear anything. Okay, never fear anything, because then you give it power. What kind of power do you give it? Power of fear. If you go on the scale and you look at fear, fear is where anxiety lives, and fear is where, you know, all these things happen, and then you get stuck, and then you feel a victim, and then that's the energy that's going into your day-to-day life, into your body, into your mind, and into your results, into your money and everything. So dark can be, I need to look at my shadows, or I need to look at my fears, or I need to look at where I judge myself, or if I'm still judging myself because I'm so much better than I used to be that I don't really notice if I'm still judging myself. And we have things that we lock away, things that we don't know we locked away, things that we kind of remember we locked away, things that we fear, things that we carry around as shame or guilt or blame or regret that we should have had, could have had. And those shadows become heavy energy. They live in the field. They might be in the mind. They might just weigh the mind down, make it less receptive, less attuned, you know, less able to clearly pick up all the messages and guidance that's everywhere. So what's becoming very important is that you awaken spherically. You awaken in a way of wholeness, not linearness, not piece by piece. That if whenever you want to get rid of something, you're not accepting it. Whenever you're in a state of, that's not duality. That's duality is required. If the floor didn't push back on you, you would just fall through it. So we want form to have duality. We want to have structure and form. And yet we created the form, and we can uncreate the form. And it's time for us to create that form by recognizing we have the power. And then where do we hide the power? And where is our power hidden in darkness because of shame or guilt or blame, of being criticized or killed at some point in some life? All those things that either are born from fear, born from being like someone else, taking our power and then being like other people, born from trying to figure out the puzzle from other people's perspective, trying to figure out how to please everybody and change, born from being overwhelmed, being confused, being surrounded by people and influences and thoughts and beliefs within you that are so strong that they don't want your reality to change. They don't want you to see, sense, believe anything of the light, because you'll change, you'll shift. But you're not going to live in the flowers all day long. You're living in the body. So it's going like this. And we need times of dark to rest, and we need times of light. And plants need it as well. And they can study plants now, and they grow marijuana professionally now. So they have people studying it, scientists, and they're like, oh, at this stage of growth, it needs 14 hours of darkness, and this much a light and diffused light or that light or this light. So we have to unplug from the idea of good and bad and just say there's a scale. And we want to be able to go in the dark. I like it really dark when I sleep. And yet we also want to acknowledge that we're probably always going to be until we aren't. And then that'll be the next experience we have. Part of these shame, guilt, fame, blame, shame, fame, yeah. Blame, fear, shame, guilt, and low states of consciousness because of the heaviness that they carry. Then we say they're dark. We can't see through them very easily. They're called a force state because the energy's heavy. The energy in the light states, it's high, it's uplifting. Okay, so let's see what Perseus says here. It was the fear of the truth which caused the ignorance or fear of pain or loss. Yeah, definitely fear of pain, fear of loss, fear of people not liking you, fear of losing your safety, fear of having what's familiar to you disappear, fear of having the success and the happiness without somebody who's then going to feel mad or guilty. Awareness of where you're limiting yourself, you're holding yourself back because of others for their comfort, and you've played that role now. So now there's a fear of like almost exposing yourself. There's some imposter syndrome, and there's a quality of feeling safe by being possessed, not possessed by an entity, but people wanting to own you, possess you, decide what to do with you. Your center of value is shifting. And, well, Perseus is also saying that when you jump, you fly through an unfamiliar atmosphere. Like if a dolphin, they're normally in the water and then they jump. Well, they're used to jumping through the air so they don't freak out. Oh my God, what's this? It's air. But if you took it and you thought about throwing yourself up out of your normal environment, and then everything's different. How it feels, how fast you go, how much light there is, what you see, what you can't see. And yet at first you can't stay long. The dolphins have to go back down in the water, and then they come back up. And there's a lot of very loving energy, and she's speaking to you, Brittany, like a loving mother, like a very loving being, and very soft, gentle tones. And there's water this way and water that way, and it's dark water. And then there's a beam of light, like from the moon, going across the water here, and then from that beam, another path going out to you. So you're to the side of the main beam of light. And oh, that's right. She told us before she's a moon dolphin. And so I'm not familiar with what that means exactly. So interesting. She always shows up like this, dark with the moon. So the moon being in an eclipse, interesting, she's here. This gives us all a chance. And this is for you, Brittany. She's showing that even when you're off the path of your main soul's light. So for her, the moon is, she tracks the moon. She has a special kind of brain, a structure to her physical body, not just that she's a dolphin. She's like all the other dolphins. She has capacities we don't. But she has another overlay. She's showing it like a film over her brain here in the top, and it has a specific attuned equipment to track the moon, to receive moon light, and she said that this is the sunlight, the sun in all forms, but the sun being you, is difficult to follow because the sun is ego as well as divine. It's both sides of yourself. And the infinite self is there. The blueprint of yourself is there. The gold ray of the codes for your growth are there. And also the ego self is there. And the ego self is important. You need an identity. However, it has been polluted and has been controlling and has been taking over. And it's time for it to find its place and saying, if you drop into your feminine, you drop into the fluidness of where you are, it's like you're splashing around in the dark over here out of the beam of light. You've floated away from the path of light. But she's sending now, right from the center of this path of the moon coming down, shooting out a path of light off towards you. And where you are still seems like dark. I just see a shadow of you, sort of, but there's a dolphin next to you. So I see the shadow of a dolphin coming up out of the water, up to where their fins, their hands are up out of the water. They're right next to you. You look like the top part of you is floating in the water over there. And it's dark because it's night. It's that kind of darkness. And this is what it feels like where you have been going from, because you you jumped off the island and you moved. Oh, island. There was an island. You jumped off an island into, and you're attempting to navigate, find your way back, because you're having big moments of truth, truth, true identity, I would call it. But it's like parts of you suddenly get through, they come down like into you. And I don't know, it's very ethereal, very crystallish, with different places and not a lot of movement, so some of them get through at times. So this calling has made you jump into the deep end, or jump off what you believe is your foundation, and now you're going through a portal. You can't turn around and go back. You can try, and you're going to want to, and Mercury is going to want to take you there. It's going to become nostalgic. It's going to become a thought in the middle of the exhaustion, the confusion, the lack of orientation. However, you have a dolphin next to you in the dark, and you have Perseus now sending the moonlight out towards you. And so there is support, there is communication, there are eyes on you. They're saying there are eyes on you. And even when you can't feel it, there are eyes on you. There is light calling to you, reaching out to you. And you keep moving in that light. And this is going to become a path that reaches deeper. So she's gifting you something over the top of your head. It looks like a film also, like this layer, thick kind of spongy layer, uh, like a cap over your forehead and the top of your head till the top of your ears. The moon, moon senses, divine feminine, sacred embodiment of the silver moon. There's sisterhood and silver, lots of silver coming. What this gives you, I can feel it very, like it's heavy on my head, on your head. This is for all that who are ready and willing may receive this now. Perseus is saying, I am an ancient soul. I am a divine, sacred, feminine being. I have within me the perfect balance without needing an outside balancing factor. Moonlight is divine feminine. balanced within itself. It can come to relationships fully embodied, stand on its own, side by side, face to face, heart to heart. It doesn't have to get lost into another or absorb another. And yet it is completely receptive. The moon absorbs the sun and then illuminates the night. This is what you can do. The moon mind, I'm going to call it the moon mind. The moon mind. She says this is a gift that's going to stay for 4 days. And so anyone who receives this, this is the 20th of April. From the first time you receive it, you'll have 4 days. The time, the energies are encoded here. And it's thick because it's filled, it's like gel kind of. And so it will, I don't know, they're not showing me, they're showing me it's thick like gel. It looks a little bit like brain, like different networks connecting, different lines moving through it, connecting. It's about an inch thick, and it's see-through but not colorless, and it's very palpable to me on my head. And this is a moon energy sensor. Absorbs moon light and stays with you. So it's it's not like something you drink. You know, if energetically or intuitively you're starting to feel, sense, or see this, this is a really profound gift. I had no idea we were going to receive this. Thank you. Thank you. We are inside of a divine sacred temple, so don't worry. Everything is aligned to your highest good. We're protected. We're safe. We're aligned to our optimal in this moment. And the moon and the sun, of course, are doing an incredible dance. They're opening portals for us right now. And we've now walked through the portal, and it is still a process. So receive this, feel what you feel in your brain, your forehead. Do you feel your glands or your chakras, your upper chakras or your eyes, tingling, pressure, movement? Scan it with your awareness, be the observer. Is there a color? Or shape to the energy that's moving? Mine feels very solid. It feels like it's in the head. It doesn't have sharp corners. It's more like heavy, thick liquid. um, it's filling up my head really solidly down along my ears, across my forehead. Feels like it's a very opaque, cloudy, light purple, not lilac, more lilac than light purple, more color. There seems to be bumps across the top of my head. So as I'm noticing and observing myself, my experience, my receiving of this moon mat, it's like it reminds me of a cooler, you know, like a thick cooler pad thing that you lay and it cools you or warms you. Yes, she's saying, yes, this is very much what it will do. It will react to you. So moon energy is about being the full receiver, and then that period in the dark where you digest it, where you're fully focused inward. and you go into that darkness and you're focused fully inward, then here you sense the stillness, fullness. It says feel like you're in a cave, but there's water, there's air, there's light coming through a shaft, and there's earth, dirt, rocks to this one side. There is a stillness here and a peace. You can feel the energies, the elements, they're around. New moon is a cave energy, it's womb energy. And even though the earth is not touching the moon, the earth orbits the moon, and she orbits you. And she draws your cycles up and down, your moods, your waters. She helps you become inspired, plant seeds, tend them, grow them. Enjoy watching them grow, harvesting them, receiving them, and starting again. You want to grow, the moon energy says. Come into this cave of stillness. Then as you come out, the sun comes. You rise. You absorb more and more of the sun. It moves from being a shaft or a beam into you. More and more and more sun. You feel it now, but you're absorbing it. The more the light comes, the more the gold comes. The more you rise and become aware of who you are, the more it shines through to you, on you, in you. You absorb it. You just keep feeling it, enjoying it, tasting it, savoring. And then there's that moment when the full sun faces your full beingness. And all you do is be a channel for all that gold light, all those codes of growth, all of that connection with your divine blueprint, your soul, your infinite self, and the container of your personality. And without a thought, you simply channel that light, and it radiates out from you. You glow and you glow and you glow, you illuminate. And you realize that the center of it is love, that your ancient wisdom is love. When you love, you become a radar tower, you become a receiving tower. And you send and you receive and you send and you receive, and you're in a never-ending divine flow. So for me, I swim and I jump and I dive and I play and I swim and I jump and dive and I play and I move my body through all these aspects and elements. And in these times, I'm weaving light, weaving energy. Absorb the sun all day, speak with the moon all night. I feel and sense them both, if they're here, seen to my eyes or not. Be in that spot as much as you can for these next 4 or 5 days, where you feel the cycle, the full dark, the first light, more and more and more and more, and you absorb and you swallow, and then you become just the receiver and the giver. You are the nexus point of the infinity. This is the point where you flow back to your soul's powers and where you release. Dark has nothing special. It has things you can't see and perceive right now. Don't make those decisions. Swim in it. Absorb it. Release it. And in the illumination, know that you're seeing echoes and shadows of what was, the reality you're leaving behind. Flow forward. Enjoy this. The moon cools you, illuminates your path, holds you in its womb. Is the full moon, the crescent moon, the waning moon, the waxing moon, all phases. Feel it. And it has, now they're showing, this is so cool. Perseus is showing that this energy that they've gifted us on the top of our crown, over this area of the crown, third eye, brain, pineal, pituitary, communication centers. It is our thousand-petaled lotus, our antenna. And now I'm seeing through that pad, it's like if you went to the gardening store and you bought a pad of dirt that you rolled out. It was already woven together with the seeds and the dirt and the fertilizer and everything, and it's sort of woven together with a grid, and it looks like you roll it out and it's, about an inch thick, and it has everything in it. It already has the seeds that are your optimal new moon seeds. And it has the ability to absorb these energies and love from the moon and this new moon. And it's being planted here between your crown and your soul star, between your last personal chakra and your first interpersonal chakra, at that place between the worlds. So you have a new seeds that have been gifted to you. They're already prepared. They're wrapped up. They're filled with exactly what they need. They have the structure to grow within. They have the food that they need. You just have to trust and accept it. You just have to trust and receive it. Joy. Namaste. Now I'm seeing I'm seeing this beautiful flower pot that has one of those big round shower-like ends, watering over. Our higher self is taking a divine water can and pouring divine silver ray drops from a very gentle watering can, the kind that looks like the full round shower with the little droplets coming really gently. Receive that into your crown. The elements of this moment. We give thanks to the moon and the sun and the eclipse, and to Perseus in the dolphin realms. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We give thanks for this beautiful gift. I'm going to already acknowledge I receive it, I accept it, I know that it is aligned for my highest good. I know that the parts of me that know exactly what to do to make sure that it is nourished, nurtured, connected, fed, I'm ready to be a part of the growth of this new mind, of this new communication, of this new reality. I accept that it can be that easy. I accept that the support is here. I accept that there's people, places, services, things, ideas, synchronicities that can come to me now that are the exact solution that I've wanted. That it is possible for completion and release, for freedom and creativity. So it is. Thank you. Thank you, Perseus. Just enjoying this bliss, because I think this is our meditation for the week, for the new moon, and for where we are. So I'm being in this space to see if there's anything else that's coming through now in this moment. This is a gift of the star. So uh, I shared with you last week that this moment today, especially everything that will unfold from now, is a bit like the Tower card in Tarot, where everything is a lightning bolt. Things are structures, old towers that you thought kept you safe, but really kept you separated and limited, are being broken down. And you might be being thrown or see things dismantling, but there is a toppling of the crown. And that means that you're toppling the old limits to your crown and who you thought you were, what you thought you had to have, who you thought you needed to be. And we're becoming the star. The star card is the next card in the tarot. And my dear friend Donna Stellhorn explained this. And so I was very inspired by her. And the star card is, of course, magic. This is who you're becoming. You don't seem to have anything. You don't have clothes, a house, or anything else. And yet you're one with the universe, the stars, the earth, the water. You're walking on the water. You have abundance pouring through both sides of you. You can create in this beautiful new garden. You've got the peace, the bird, the eye, the mountains, the grass. Everything you need is here. Thank you. Moon dolphin. So the path that Perseus was sending out to Brittany, what started as a specific message for her, I'm having a really weird sensation. The center of my bottom lip is going numb right now, right here. Okay. So let me get one of my jaguars in on this action here too. Namaste, my friend. So got Perseus. We got our dark stones to help protect us. We're going to be doing a psychic protection class very, very soon. Started out being for Brittany, and it's very important for Brittany, and I know her. And then it became true for all of us that at some place, anywhere we feel like we've lost our way, we've lost ourself, we've left the path. Maybe we have jumped off our own island. Maybe you've been pushed off. Maybe someone died. Maybe you've been liberated from your job. Maybe you've made some choices or decisions in your life that are allowing you to have a new path, a new freedom, a new location, a new direction, and you feel a little bit excited, a little bit nervous, a little bit whatever. We don't know. The light, the white illuminating, the dark. Be in everything that is showing you those polarities. It's a really beautiful space. And thank you. I'm going to do some cards now. Okay. I'm going to end. So the energies are asking me to immediately go start the meditation, and we'll do cards there because I'm going to channel a lot more information. Okay. Woo. All right. So Brittany says, the balance to the aura, which cannot be unbalanced by outside forces. Exactly. That is my first gift, the first knot in my red string. Love is the ripple, the in-between embodiment, the bridge to the next embodiment gift. Yes, I trust and accept it, and a gift of me, of new me, is to abundantly receive. Excellent. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love this splendor of this reality, which is beautiful and yes, that easy. In the movie Mario Brothers, they received the star in the end, and that's how they won. The numbness happened to me this morning. Really, it's like a pinching. It's going like this, like boom, boom. I know it's energetic. My whole crown is going like this in a magnetic vibration. So we're going to stay in the flow. Let's go over to the multidimensional meditation. I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you. And those of you who move on, may this circle be open yet unbroken, and this peace, this beauty, this reality, and this path, this illumination that you are, go with you. Namaste.